Yid just mean Jew?
Yeah, it does just mean Jew.
Well, the kid who told me it used that term.
I don't know. Okay, and action. Welcome once again to the David Project. Well, again, I don't know how many of us have been clearance for. We're already at lesson 7 of the David Project. And of course, hi to Dr. Solomon, who's joining us via conference on YouTube. How you doing? Okay, everyone gives a hello. Okay, so now we're gonna start this off upward levels, lesson 7. We're gonna talk about moral dimension. Bang. Bang.
You have the thing tilted to the side, Rabbi.
What?
You have the thing tilted to the side.
Yeah, but it should, it's wide angle.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so if you remember, we discussed previously, we spoke about the physical and the historical dimension of the conflict. Already we've discussed, that even though people say that Israel is this huge, I'm allowed to taste, it's what I do with my teacher. So, even though Israel is this huge, people think that Israel is this huge landmass. Okay, we know the truth. We know the geographical realities. We learned about the history of the land. We learned about the history of the the history of the conflict. We learned about how much money the Arab groups are pouring into their militaries. That Israel looks like the aggressor in this conflict against the poor Palestinian people, and that really it's a bigger show of Arab aggressionism, which is really gone through the world, and there's a large history of Arab aggressionism as opposed to what the media makes it seem as a bunch of Israeli aggressionism against the poor Palestinian people.
Yeah, we're the Goliath and they're David.
Exactly. So, does anyone remember the term that we used to change focus? Do you remember the phrase that we used?
Framing. Fair framing.
Conventional. Fair framing. There's a conventional framing. What's conventional framing again?
So most people assume, about the situation.
Yeah,
that's incorrect.
Exactly.
Okay, very good.
And then you turn it into fair framing.
Yep, fair and that's what we do. When we talk about countries coming into existence, is that does any country have a natural right to exist?
No. You ask.
Every country has been based on treaties or agreements.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everything's been conquered, everything's been...
You got it.
Rabbi.
What do you got? If I could ask, by the way, if everyone will open up their notebooks, in case you don't have them out already. Thank you so much. Whether they be computer notebooks or notebooks. Yes.
This whole
I think I'm the only one that knows.
seems like propaganda. The way it's put together.
Well, sort of, in a certain way, it is. In a certain way, it's anti-propaganda.
But whose truth is it?
It's a good question. What our goal is with the David Project is to combat the unfair framing,
But the thing is,
and to frame it in a much more general sense. And actually, what we're going to talk about today is whether or not one can criticize
but how do you
Israel.
know that there's no Muhammad project? It's the same thing. Just
There is.
And they're fair framing as well. Just from the other side.
Very good. It's a good question, and
That's the problem.
so part of what we're doing is that we're showing that what Palestinians are showing is only part of the story, and the other half of it. Hold on for a second. I'll get you in a second. The other thing is that we're going to talk about, are you allowed to criticize Israel? That's what part of today's lesson is all about.
Actually, I don't really think that's true though, because I think most of what this is showing is fact, not opinion.
They're showing facts too.
No,
But they're only showing parts
but
of
they're
the
showing
fact.
parts of fact.
Still,
This is fact, so it's not like our opinion, it's what happened. And
you're saying
we're
there's
not-
no bias in the David
Oh,
project.
there's absolutely bias. But what I
so
am
there's
saying, what I'm
things
saying
like
is that.
numbers.
Would you rather have opposite bias?
No.
But
So this is what you're saying.
essentially what the point is that the point of the David Project is not going to give you a thorough investigation of all the geopolitical realities and the social economic realities of the entire Middle East conflict. at the same time, what the David Project is it's coming to help us to explain a message that the claims which are being put forth by the Palestinian social mouthpieces and by media and by CNN are not fair. If we want to investigate everything and what is, without bias and evaluate everything